Hello, Pisces. This is Debs, and this is your reading for March 2024. Pisces, it's lovely to be with you guys. I hope you're all well. I've just come out of a really interesting vision. Pisces, I saw a woman walk across a car park, get into her car. She was dressed in what looked like an interview outfit. She chucked a folder on the passenger seat and she just sat there and thought, oh my goodness, I know I've got it. I know I've got it. This is so exciting. I never thought I could get that job. As she drove out of the car park, the city made way to green fields, and she thought, you know what? I've had such an intense day. I'm going to turn off and check out a local village. I just want to take time to sort of relax, have a cup of coffee, and just take stock. So she pulled off this busy road and she wound her way up over this hill into this beautiful village. She parked the car in sort of like a village square and walked across and ordered a coffee in this coffee shop. And there was a guy behind the counter and she was chatting to him. He said, oh, I don't recognize you. You're new to this area, or are you just passing through? And she said, no, I've just got this amazing job. And he said, oh, it's fantastic. She said, I'm 99.9% I've got it in the bag. Her phone rang at that point, and there was a really big smile on her face, and she chatted for a minute or so. She turned the phone off, and the guy looked at her and he said, oh my gosh, have you got the job? And she said, yes, I've got the job. And he said, oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations. She said, yes, it's going to take a lot of work. I'm going to have to be in really early in the office. I'm going to have to go home late. But I've wanted this type of position for a long time. And the guy looked at her and said, well, I was in that situation a few years ago. He said, I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle the pressure. I couldn't handle the noise, the city life. He said, I just wanted to be out in nature. I wanted to take the pressure off myself. And he said, I'm actually a lawyer, but I run a coffee shop now and I love it. And she said, yes, yes. She was in deep thought. Half an hour later, she thanked him, left the coffee shop. She got in her car and she rang the agent and said, I'm so sorry, I just don't think this is for me. And she turned the phone off, leant back in the car seat, breathed a sigh of relief, and she thought, you know what? I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad I did that. So Pisces, I don't know whether or not you have been going for something. It could literally be a job in a higher position. It could be a higher salary job. Or it could be this is you wanting to expand a business, or this is you fighting to sort of keep on top, get clients in, make sure that you're earning the money, that sort of thing. You may be coming to the realization that it's going to be too much. And you may also be realizing, Pisces, that what you want is a quality of life, not necessarily to earn a certain amount of money. You're rethinking your plans in terms of your career, in terms of your money. So I feel what we've got here is someone or a group of you who are considering a lifestyle change rather than pushing forward and trying to get into a situation where you're moving into bigger, better. You're actually deciding to sort of pull back and do some thinking, Pisces. What do you really want for your future? So, guys, let's get into this and see what comes through. It could be a career reading, lifestyle reading. Let's see. Now, the deck that I'm using is a Tarot Grand Luxe. It's beautiful. I love the images. If you want a private reading, everything is listed down below. All the decks I use and the link to join the channel if you're interested. So, Archangel Michael, thank you for joining us. This is the reading for my Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising and Venus, March 2024. I'm now seeing a woman scanning classifieds. She's saying to herself, maybe I should even think of moving. Okay, Pisces, something's going to happen in the month of March where you are going to shock yourself. I never thought I'd make that decision. Oh my goodness. A year ago, I would have thought absolutely no way. Pisces, times change, you get older, your needs, your wants, your desires change. And I feel I'm connecting here with a group of Pisceans who are simply wanting to take their foot off the gas rather than pushing for the better job, the higher salary, getting in more clients. You're actually backing off, not with a sense of defeat, but realizing that it would have been too much pressure. You would have been putting too much pressure on yourself and not living a quality of life that you really wanted to live. You're looking at things from a very different perspective, and it's relating to something that's going to happen in the month of March. Okay. Yeah, you may surprise yourself. All right, guys. Look at that, Ace of Coins. Pisces, for some of you, you have been in high pressure roles, whether or not that's in, a 9-to-5 office job, whether or not that is you trying to push your way up the career ladder, running a business even. You're just about to step into a new cycle. But what the divine is saying is, think very carefully, Pisces, about your quality of life. What is the point in forcing yourself to obtain more, to be at a higher level, to beat the competition, if it's just going to mean a lot more pressure on you? Having to work overtime, having to exhaust yourself to maintain that. For some of you, you may be thinking of moving. You could be moving out of a busy city into the countryside. But why do I feel that previously, if for instance you were in a studio apartment in the middle of a city, you may have been dreaming of affording a 1-bed flat, somewhere quite prestigious or something similar. What you're thinking about now is, well, it's just me. Do I need somewhere that's bigger? Not necessarily. Do I need to be somewhere in a really smart area? Well, not necessarily. You're deciding to look at your life very differently. This is you considering uprooting and moving, and you're thinking about finances, is what I'm getting here. Yes. Pisces, you may have found yourself a little bit on edge with people recently, and we've all been there, guys, me included. Out of pressure, out of stress, out of feeling, oh my goodness, I've got to keep working, I've got to work longer hours, I've got to work harder to sort of maintain my standard of living. What you're realizing is you are quite stressed. You may not be sleeping that well. You may be worried about the future. What the divine is asking you to do is take a really big step back and think about where you want to be in 10 years' time, 20 years' time. Do you still want to be fighting off the competition in a high-stressed role, desperately trying to pull in as much money as possible, right? Or do you want a calmer life, a more peaceful life, where you may not have everything you've ever wanted at your disposal, but you're going to be far more relaxed? The pressure's off. You're going to be moving into a simpler lifestyle. Pisces, you're really contemplating this. I feel as if you're on the precipice of massive change. The thing is, do you force yourself upwards, or do you just sit where you are right now and sort of take a bit of a break? Get off the highway, sit and have a coffee, right? Symbolically. Let's just really think about this. That's the stage that you're at right now, guys. In the past, the Empress. I feel, Pisces, you learned a lot of lessons. You did evolve into the energy of the Empress. I do, though, feel I'm connecting with a single Pisces, possibly a feminine. I'm sorry for you guys. I do feel that. You may be slightly older. You may not be in your 20s anymore, or even your 30s. After that period of time, the star. You sort of made it, Pisces. Now, that could simply be your family putting you on a pedestal. Well done. Your mum really excited, your dad clapping you on the back. Well done. You've achieved so much. We're so proud of you. Or you may have felt as if you reached a certain level where you were proud of yourself. But I feel the pressure was on. It's as if you got to a certain level, and what you're thinking about now is, do I force myself onwards and upwards? I know it's going to be hard work. I know it's going to be stressful, but I might be able to pull in more money, right? Or do I take a step back and really evaluate what is really important for me going forward? That's the stage you're in right now. What you're thinking about, Pisces, is the Wheel of Destiny. Yes. You're about to close out a cycle and move into a new cycle of life. For some of you, I'm seeing somebody walking around a house thinking, I didn't need to buy that. I didn't need to buy that. Why did I buy that? It was really expensive. I didn't really need it. Pisces, you're really thinking about, again, the way you live your life and what is really important for you at this point. In the immediate future, Pisces, yes, 7 of Pentacles. Now, for some of you, if you're lucky enough to have savings, you're thinking to yourself, I want to make sure that my savings stay safe. I shouldn't spend too much money. I should save. You're looking at what you've already accumulated, and it's as if you're wanting to keep it safe. It's precious to you because this will be your future foundation. But I feel for some of you, you were trying to get from the 7 of Pentacles to the 9 of Pentacles, but this is you feeling that it will be too much pressure. Do I really want to achieve that? Really? Who would it serve? Pisces, what you're fearing, yes, look at that, is the 10 of Wands. What you're fearing is that as you get a little bit older, you're not actually going to cope with the amount of work, the volume of work, the pressure that you've coped with up until this point of time. So what you might have been thinking about is, okay, if I go from the 7 of Pentacles to the 9 of Pentacles, I could achieve this, right? Which could be putting money into an investment for the future. It could be purchasing a beautiful new car. It could be moving into a gorgeous property. But what you're realizing is, do you really need it? Not necessarily. Not if you looked at things from a different perspective and thought about a quality of life, not in terms of amassing things, not in terms of reaching a high level, but a quality of life. Maybe living in the countryside. Maybe being really happy waking up in a tiny cottage somewhere, going off and working locally in a clothing boutique. Maybe working 2 jobs, but being in a situation where you didn't feel under so much pressure. You're fearing, Pisces, that if you continue pushing for what you felt you really wanted, and this might have been 10 years ago, you're going to find yourself not happy, really worried. Can I afford this massive mortgage on this place? I'm going to have to keep working for the next 10, 20 years, or I'm going to have to keep working until I drop. What for? What for, really? You're reevaluating your lifestyle. And you're realizing you don't need those things. You don't need a huge amount of money. You would actually prefer to earn less money, but be happier in an environment where the pressure's off. You're looking at this really seriously. In the environment, Pisces, interesting Judgment. Now, this can be angelic guidance. It can be the call of the divine. But what we've got here, if you see, is a very dark energy. People very stressed. It's as if they are racing away from an industrial city, right? And then up here, we've got doves of peace. I feel that you're connecting with your guides, your angels at this time, and you are carefully considering the next steps forward. Because I think, Pisces, your goal has changed. And it may be very sudden, and it could well be in the month of March. You may be getting off the highway, Pisces, symbolically, and taking some time to really carefully consider your next move forward, because you are about to move into a new cycle. But you may surprise yourself in changing what you actually thought you wanted. In your hopes, Pisces, yes, 8 of Swords. You've been in your head about this, knowing that this life junction is coming up, this major decision is coming up. This could be you thinking, okay, do I go for that big promotion? Do I leave the job I'm in and go for a much higher salary? Do I start building on an existing business, bringing in many more clients, trying to earn more money to make sure that I can give myself the life that I hope to live in the future? Pisces, you're realizing that it's been stressing you out. And what you're coming to the conclusion about is, I don't actually think I want that anymore. And it may be a shock. You may be shocking yourself. The outcome, guys, the Hangman. Yes. Pisces, you are seeing things from a different perspective. You're changing your mindset. Rather than sitting there thinking, oh, I really wanted to earn that amount of money, or I really wanted to be at that level, what you're thinking about now is, yes, but why? Why? If I can manage to give myself a decent life without the pressure, isn't that much more valuable? A sense that you don't have to get up at the crack of dawn and work your butt off until 8 o'clock at night. You don't have to try and fight off the competition. You're realizing that it's not actually that important anymore. Because the thought of pushing onwards and upwards is making you feel very stressed. 10 of Wands is, do I really want that? I don't think I really want that. And it again is relating to something that's going to happen in March. Maybe you're going to talk to a friend of yours, and this friend may say, oh yeah, I left the city job behind. Oh my goodness, the stress was killing me. My health was going under. I wasn't really happy. And now I live in a tiny 1-bed cottage in the middle of nowhere. I've got a couple of local jobs and I'm blissfully happy. It's going to be something like that. And this is you stepping back thinking, oh my goodness, yeah, you know what? They're right. I don't know if I want the pressure. You're reevaluating, Pisces. March is going to be a very significant time for you. You may be thinking of handing in your notice, going for a higher level job. You may be thinking of actually moving and wondering whether or not you can afford a super expensive property. What you're thinking about now is, no, I've got to be real with myself. I just don't think it's going to make me happy. Because Pisces, you're not now thinking a year in advance, you're thinking 10 years into the future. So clarification for you guys, 8 of Pentacles. Yes, you have been working, Pisces. For some of you, exhausting yourself without really recognizing that. For many of you, you've got to a certain level, you're very proud of yourself, and people are proud of you too. Friends, family, that sort of thing. But what you're recognizing is you can't carry on at the pace that you have. It's just unrealistic. And if you were to progress and force yourself into a lifestyle that you felt you could achieve, what you're understanding is it would have been too much. So you're taking a massive step back and doing a lot of thinking. Clarification for the Judgment card. And Pisces, for many of you, this is your intuition, the divine, the angels, the archangels, your higher self. Okay? Yeah. Ace of Swords. Deep, deep down, Pisces, even though you may not have wanted to admit it to yourself, you know the truth. If you were to continue down this path, working at the pace that you have been, you're actually going to make yourself ill. You're going to be exhausting yourself. The angels are saying, interesting, temperance. Temper the need to push yourself forward and really look at the lifestyle that you want to live later on down the line. Yes, you may not be able to afford a glamorous property in the middle of a busy city. You may not be able to afford to buy yourself luxurious things. But Pisces, do you really need them? As we get older, we tend to understand that the quality of life is much more important. Rather than amassing things, rather than reaching a certain level in life, you need to take a step back. Underneath the deck, guys, interesting, High Priestess. Yeah. Pisces, you may not have communicated your thoughts and feelings to those around you, whether it's family members, whether or not it's your best mate, whether or not it's, if you're a single mom, your kids or your child. But what you're thinking about is you need a massive change. Death card. Your intuition has been telling you, Pisces, you need to look at things very differently now. Very differently. Yes, you know, you could, at age 60, be sitting in a beautiful property, luxurious things around you, but do you really need that? And are you going to look back at your life thinking, well, I've achieved all this, but I'm exhausted, I've had health issues, I've been antisocial because I've got no time to be social. You're realizing you don't want that. The World. Pisces, a massive cycle is about to close out of you putting pressure on yourself. And I have to say, for some of you, needlessly. What you're ending is the desire to force yourself to push forward. I'm going to fight off the competition. I'm going to be earning that level of salary. I'm going to get that promotion, right? No. You're actually realizing that imagining yourself doing that fills you with stress. This is a huge reevaluation of your lifestyle. So, my gorgeous Pisces, let's get into this and see what comes through. This is a rather unusual career reading for you guys. But I do feel as if I'm connecting with several people. Michael's telling me yes. Yes. Okay. Let's get into this, guys. Moving the camera a fraction. Okay. I don't want to fiddle around with moving all the cards. Okay, guys. So Archangel Michael, what is the energy of the Ace of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords? Yeah. Five of Wands. Pisces, you have been in the mindset of feeling as if you had to fight off the competition to stay at a certain level or to progress. But you've been very testy recently because you're under so much pressure. I've got to earn that pentacle, right? To the point where you've been very on edge with a few people. Knight of Swords. Don't talk to me now, I'm busy. No, can you ring me another day because I've got 60 emails to get through, right? I think the divine is saying just cool it down. Rather than jumping into this new cycle, putting even more pressure on yourself, take a step back. Maybe just for the month of March, really think about things. Really think about things, Pisces. What is your energy? Yeah. You've been trying to get yourself to the Nine of Pentacles energy, so I'm connecting with a single Pisces. This is about financial stability. Yeah. Pisces, you had a particular dream. And this is you wanting that ship to come in. But look at your energy. Sleepless nights. You've either been having sleepless nights recently because you're overtired. When you're overtired, you don't actually sleep very well. This is you stressing, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. How am I going to be able to afford to support myself in the lifestyle that I've been living in 10 years' time? Okay, I've got to put in extra work. I've got to force myself forward. To the point where you're realizing, Pisces, you're very tensed up right now. You could be snapping at people for no reason. If somebody wants to meet you for a drink after work, you're saying, no, I have to work. I can't meet you. Pushing them away. Work, Pisces. Yeah, Two of Coins. I mean, this is you exhausted. Juggling this, juggling that, walking a tightrope. I hope I can achieve this. So in the past, Pisces, you moved yourself into Empress energy as a single person. This is you learning a lot of lessons. You may have been through a great deal in your life. You may have learned a few things about other people, about yourself. And I feel for many of you, you've realized you want to be self-sufficient. That's what I feel. What happened in the past with the Empress? Yeah, Five of Coins. So Pisces, you learned all the lessons you needed to learn. You were sitting in a certain amount of abundance, and it's all relative, right? But maybe financially you're a little bit worried. I need to make sure I'm okay for the rest of my life because it may just be me for the rest of my life. And so you worked. You worked, Pisces, because you may have felt, well, I have to, I have to. Knight of Coins, and the money came in slowly, but it did. You may have been doing this job for 10 years, something like that. It could be a shorter amount of time, but you got to the point where you could take a breather, a little bit of a breather. You'd reached a certain level, and you also knew, Pisces, that you'd managed to heal yourself relating to heartbreak from the past. I'm now balanced. I'm now balanced. What else were you thinking about? The Ten of Pentacles. But Pisces, when you reach that point, it could have been months ago, it could have been 2 or 3 years ago, it's almost as if you got so used to doing well that you thought, okay, well, now I've reached this level, I'm going to go higher. I'm going to get to a point where I'm earning more. Because it almost became like an addiction. Wow, I'm doing really well. Okay, so next thing is to earn this amount of money so I can achieve this. Your dreams expanded. That's what happened. So in basic terms, you put more pressure on yourself. I don't think anyone else put pressure on you because I'm dealing with a single Empress, right? Yes, but look at actually underneath how you are feeling. Yes, I'm sort of making it. Yes, I'm earning the money. I've got to get from the Seven of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles. But deep down, your intuition was sort of screaming at you. Pisces, you're going to work yourself to death. I mean, literally, you're going to get to a point where it's going to impact your sense of wellness. You're going to start feeling as if you're in this perpetual cycle of hard work and exhaustion, going to sleep, hard work, exhaustion, going to sleep, and that's all you do. is become toxic. And you may not have wanted to admit it to yourself, but I see that. So Pisces, the Wheel of Destiny. You're just about to shift yourself into a new cycle, right? Yeah. You're taking a step back and you're doing a lot of thinking about what is really important to you. For many of you, you're going to realize you are simply overtired. You may be waking up in the morning, forcing yourself to get out of bed. I've got to get through these emails. I've got to get to work early. I've got to impress the boss, right? You're not happy. Deep down, Pisces, you're not actually that happy because you're putting yourself under an undue amount of stress to achieve, right? What are you thinking about, Pisces? Anything else? Six of Pentacles. What you're realizing is if you're earning a certain amount of money, enabling you to move into a certain lifestyle, you're not actually going to increase your financial stability. You're going to stay at the same place. Maybe your dream was to buy a brand new car, right? I'm just putting it out there. Symbolism. This is you thinking, well, once I've bought that brand new car, I'm going to have to pay higher insurance. I'm going to have to maintain it. It's going to guzzle the gas, so it's going to be more expensive to run. So actually, I've got to keep earning to maintain this car. When what the divine is saying is, Pisces, do you need a new car? Really? Maybe you could get a second-hand car that is cheaper to run. It may not look as glamorous, but maybe it will mean that you don't have to earn a particular level of salary because it won't be that expensive to run. They want you to look at things differently. And you're also realizing you need a work-life balance. So Pisces, in the immediate future, Seven of Pentacles and the Judgment card. This is the divine, and this is you looking at your past, looking at what you have achieved so far, maybe looking at savings, okay? Money that you've saved through sheer hard work. And what you're thinking about now is, do I push for the 9 or 10 of Pentacles as a single person, or do I take a step back and shift in a different direction? Archangel Michael, do we have timing for my lovely Pisces? When do we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Judgment card? Thank you, Michael. Okay, yeah. Okay, 18th of March to the 15th of April. Something significant is going to happen, Pisces, on those 2 dates or within that period of time. It could be an amazing high-level job comes up, much bigger salary, and this is you thinking, shall I go for it or not? It could be that for some of you, a lease expires on an apartment that you may be renting and you're thinking, okay, I've got to move. Do I try to move somewhere nicer? Do I want to try and buy somewhere if I can afford it? What do I want to do? And how much money should I spend? Or what level of mortgage should I go for? You're really thinking about this. You're carefully saving the money that you have built up already, and you're evaluating what you want for your future life. Yeah, you're getting a lot of guidance from the divine. I see this as messages coming in. It could be your higher self. It could literally be the angels, the archangels guiding you in a particular direction. So Pisces, what are you taking in from the divine, from your higher self? Yes. The divine and your higher self are contemplating your concept, your individual concepts of happiness. Is happiness achieving a certain amount of money? Is happiness buying a beautiful brand new car, living in a luxury house? What is your concept of happiness? Is it you potentially taking the pressure off, being able to actually enjoy your weekends without working, bringing in a lower salary because you've allowed yourself to shift into a simpler way of life, living somewhere less expensive, living in a way which means that you can save the majority of the money that you've already earned. The Magician. Yes, Pisces, you're a powerful manifester. You can manifest whatever you want. The angels are saying, Pisces, you could manifest greater success, more money. You could do that. But if you do that, you may find yourself in a situation where you look back and wonder what it was all about. Why did I feel as if I had to do that? Sure, you may have money in the bank, you may be living somewhere beautiful, but you may have realized it's taken a toll on your health. And you may be sitting there on your own, Pisces, because you pushed everyone away because of your desire to be successful in the work that you do. Yeah, I'm sitting here, it's gorgeous, a lovely house, not lots of nice things around me, but I'm on my own, right? Because you work 7 days a week. The divine is asking you to think about what happiness means for you, very simply. They're saying you can manifest what you want, but be careful what you wish for. What else is coming through for Pisces? Yeah. 7 of Cups. I'm hearing castles in the sky. You may realize, Pisces, that you put too much pressure on yourself. You may have expected too much of yourself. And again, your higher self is saying, hang on, Pisces, before you jump into this new cycle and put even more pressure on yourself, do you really want to do that? Think carefully. Think very carefully. Because this is a massive turning point for you. 2 of Wands. You can either push yourself forward, although for many of you, you are already fearing that if you carry on the way you have been, or you put more pressure on yourself, you're not going to be able to cope with it. Or do you think about living life in a simpler way? Maybe getting rid of a load of things that you've accumulated that you really don't need, saving your money rather than spending it, and thinking about a change of lifestyle. I feel as if this is a big turning point for you. This is you looking at the past and evaluating how much you've achieved, what you've earned so far, and now you're about to move into a new cycle. So you are listening to the advice of the divine. What is on your mind, my beautiful Pisceans? Yes, the Hermit. What do I really want when I'm older? What quality of life do I want? Do I want to work until I'm 70? You may be thinking about the concept that you've been on your own for too long. You're looking into your past and you're shining a light into your future, and you're taking a step back before you move. Really got to think carefully about this, because your mindset is changing, and it's changing rapidly. What are you contemplating, Pisces? Yeah. You're realizing that you want to walk away from a way of thinking. I want to achieve this. I want to achieve that. I want to feel as if I've got that in the bag. I want to do bigger, better. You're walking away from that. You're telling yourself the truth, which is, if I put more pressure on myself, I'm not going to be happier. It's actually going to be to my detriment. What else are you walking away from? The Devil. Being overindulged. Spending money you didn't need to spend, buying things you didn't really need, being obsessed with work. You're walking away from a cycle, Pisces, that's become toxic for you. You're admitting it to yourself. This is the wake-up call. Wow, I've achieved a lot. I've worked really hard, but it's now become a toxic cycle. Yeah, Pisces. And with the Five of Cups, rather than sitting there feeling so grateful for the life that you have, you've been putting pressure on yourself to live a bigger life. Well, why do you need to do that? You've been looking at the glass half empty. Oh, I'm so disappointed in myself that I didn't have enough money to do this or that and the other, or this, that and the other. Well, was it really that important, right? And what you're realizing now, looking back, those things that you have acquired haven't actually made you happier. And what the divine is saying and what the divine is asking you to look at is, when you move into this new cycle, and it's going to be soon, it could be in the next 6 months, really carefully think about your quality of life. It's not about amassing things. It's not about having your name in lights. It's not about getting to a certain level in life, because that is actually ego. What do you really want to do on a day-to-day basis? Do you want to have an easier working schedule where you can finish work at 5:30? When you can enjoy your weekends without having to work? Without having to go into early morning meetings at 7 a.m.? Think about your quality of life. Yes, you may not be earning so much, but what the divine is saying is you'll be happier. You'll have time to spend with friends. You'll have time to socialize. You'll have time for self-care, because I'm dealing with a Pisces here who is exhausted. You're already at the 9 of Wands, and I think deep down you know it. What else is on your mind, Pisces? The Hierophant. You may be thinking about the concept of community, your own spirituality, religion, tradition, what was expected of you, maybe from your parents, your work colleagues. You're also thinking, Pisces, about the guidance that you're receiving from the divine, and it's altering the way that you're thinking. What's the conclusion, Pisces? What's your thought process at this point? Yeah, 6 of Swords. The divine is saying, Pisces, rather than pushing on when you're exhausted, take a step back. You need to move to calmer waters. For some of you, you're actually moving, and you may be contemplating the price of properties, the cost of living, whether it's renting or buying. You're considering your next move. And the divine is saying what is really important, Pisces, is you choose a direction that means that you can actually enjoy living your life rather than being obsessed with financial stability. Really think about it. And you are at this point of time. This is March, April time, Pisces. So here we have you, Hangman. This is you seeing the bigger picture. What is going to make me happy in the future? Where do I want to be in 10 years' time? What lifestyle do I want to be living at that point? So what are you realizing here, Pisces? What are you realizing? Okay, Queen of Cups. It's time for self-care and self-nurture. You haven't been taking care of yourself, Pisces, because you've been driving yourself forward to the point where you're realizing you can't take it anymore. You can't do this anymore. What else are you telling yourself? Page of Swords, that it's time to get really real with yourself, your situation, your future. Yeah. Pisces, it's time for you to actually take a step back and enjoy living your life. Have you been obsessed with work? Have you been obsessed with getting to a certain level? The divine is saying, take a second look at what you felt previously was important. It's not important. What the angels are saying is, you need to look at your life in a very different way now. Four of Wands. You could be thinking of moving. You could be thinking, okay, where do I go from here? For some of you, you're thinking, I want a relationship in the future. If I work as hard as I'm working now, I'm never going to have the time to socialize. So you're getting on that. You may be realizing that you don't want that high-powered job. You don't want to try and bring more clients on board because you simply can't deal with it. What else are you realizing? Yeah, that you've been blocking the truth for the longest time. You knew that something had to give. For some of you, you may have been waking up in the morning thinking, oh my God, my back aches, or I've got a headache, or I was on email until 11 o'clock last night, I'm exhausted. It's taking a toll on your health, Pisces. You may have known it. You may have silently told yourself, I have to slow down, but you've pushed on. And you're realizing that you now have to pull back. What else are you considering? Yeah, your past. I don't know. I mean, for some of you, you may have had parents who put pressure on you, expected great things of you. You may be thinking, for some of you, when I was a child, my parents didn't have a great deal. They were scrimping and saving all the time, but they were happy. They were happy. You may feel, Pisces, you want to go back emotionally to a time where you were happy, where you can play like a child, relax as a child does. And yes, that takes a little bit of money, but you don't need a huge amount to sit in that energy. Again, the divine is asking you to consider what you want for your future life. Yeah, Page of Wands. Pisces, this is your sense of fun bubbling up to the surface. Okay, you know what? Maybe I don't want that super glamorous job. Maybe I don't actually need to earn that level of money. No. If I live in a smaller place, if I downsize, then I've got enough money to live a really good quality of life. You're thinking outside the box and you're actually feeling inspired. Yeah, you're feeling inspired, Pisces. Yeah, Page of Coins. What you're thinking about is, I don't need to take on more clients. I don't need to earn more money. Yes, I'm going to have to live somewhere smaller, somewhere cheaper, or watch the amount of money I spend going forward. But I'm going to have a quality of life. Do we have a final card from the divine for my lovely Pisces? Thank you. Yes, exactly. Pisces, think about your quality of life. What the divine is saying is, this is what you should be aiming for. Sitting curled up with a cat, glass of wine, by an open fire, maybe in a run-down little cottage, but you're at peace. And it may also be, Pisces, that when you take your foot off the gas and you allow yourself some free time, you may well meet someone to build a life with. So, my gorgeous Pisces, it's been a long reading. I'm leaving it there. I hope it's helped you. Take care of you, sending love and light your way, and many blessings. Bye now.